Stop wasting your weekends and your wallet on lawn fertilizer. Look at this grass. While most of us spend a small fortune dumping Scott's chemicals, weed killers, and gallons of water onto our yards, every single summer, rural Japanese families have kept their lawns thick, green, and weed-free for over a century using absolutely nothing. No automated sprinkler systems, no strict fertilizer schedules, and exactly $0. It feels like modern lawn care is designed to keep you trapped in an endless cycle. You buy the expensive spring feed, overwater just to keep it alive in July, and by August, it's a patchy brown mess anyway. We've been conditioned to believe that a perfect lawn requires a perfect chemistry experiment. But there is a brilliant $0 Japanese method that breaks every rule of modern landscaping. It works with nature instead of fighting it, building a deeply resilient root system that stays lush and green all year round. In this video, I am going to show you exactly how this century-old technique works, why the big lawn care companies hope you never find out about it, and how you can implement it in your own yard starting today without spending a single dime. The mistake starts on the first warm Saturday of the year. A homeowner walks into the garage, sees last year's spreader, grabs another bag and thinks, this should finally fix the lawn. But if that bag worked, the lawn would not need another one every season. That is the part the lawn care aisle does not want you to slow down and notice. Most weak lawns are not failing because they need more product. They are failing because the soil underneath has been trained to depend on product. So the first move in the Japanese method is not adding anything. It is stopping the thing that keeps the lawn weak. Look at the front yard after a hot week. The strip beside the driveway turns pale first, the patch near the mailbox gets thin, the corner by the gate turns dusty, then weeds show up exactly where the grass gave out. That is not random. The lawn is leaving clues, and the first clue is mowing height. Most homeowners cut the lawn short because it looks clean. It feels finished. It gives that tight, sharp look from the curb, but short grass is expensive grass. Cut the lawn too low, and sunlight hits the soil directly. The ground heats up, moisture disappears faster, weed seeds get light, the roots stay weak. Then the homeowner wonders why the lawn needs more water, more fertilizer, and more rescue every few weeks. Here is the first break in the system: raise the mower. In summer, keep the lawn around 3.5 to 4 inches. In spring and fall, keep it around 3 inches. That taller blade shades the soil like a living roof. The lawn holds moisture longer, weeds get less open space, and the roots have a reason to grow deeper. It sounds too simple, but this is where many yards begin to turn. Now the next mistake is even more common, because it looks like care. Watering. A lot of homeowners water the lawn for a few minutes every morning. The sprinkler clicks on, the driveway gets wet, the blades shine. It feels like the lawn just got help, but here is what most people do not realize. A light sprinkle does not build a strong lawn. It builds shallow roots. If water only sits in the top layer of soil, the roots stay there waiting for the next shallow drink. Then one ugly heat wave hits, and the lawn burns out because the roots are living in the hottest part of the yard. The Japanese method flips that habit: water less often, but water deeper, water at sunrise. Not at night. Let the moisture move down into the root zone, then let the blades dry before evening. A wet lawn sitting through warm night air is exactly how brown patches get started. Do the screwdriver test. After watering, push a screwdriver into the soil. If it slides down about 6 inches, the lawn actually drank. If it stops near the top, you only washed the surface. That one test tells the truth faster than any label on a bag. But water is not the only thing homeowners are wasting. The next mistake happens every time the mower bag fills up. Grass clippings are not trash. They are the cheapest feeding cycle your lawn already has. When you bag clippings and drag them to the curb, you remove material the lawn made for itself. Then later you buy a product to replace what you threw away. That is a bad deal. Leave the clippings, as long as they are not sitting in heavy clumps. They break down, return nutrients slowly, protect the soil surface, and help the lawn feed itself without a fertilizer schedule. This is why the Japanese method feels so different. It does not force the lawn to look better for a week. It helps the lawn become harder to weaken. Now walk to the worst part of the yard, not the middle. The worst part, the bare spot beside the walkway, the dirt patch near the gate, the thin strip where the kids cut across to the neighbor's house, the stressed edge beside the driveway where summer heat bakes the grass from both sides. That area is probably not a seed problem. It is a soil problem. Homeowners waste money here every year. They throw seed over hard ground, water it for a few days, and watch a little green fuzz appear. Then the same spot dies again because the roots never had room to go down. Packed soil is like a closed door. Seed can sit on top of it, but the lawn cannot build a home there. So before reseeding, open the soil, use a garden fork, push it straight down into the thin area, rock it gently back and forth, do not rip the yard apart, just crack the compacted layer enough for air, water and roots to move. Do that across the weak area, add a thin layer of compost if you have it, then reseed in early fall, when the ground is still warm but the air is cooler. This is where timing matters. Spring seed has to fight weeds, heat, foot traffic, and summer stress. Fall seed gets a much easier start. That is why the lawn you plant in early fall often becomes the lawn your neighbors notice next spring. But weeds tell an even sharper story. Most homeowners see weeds and think, I need a stronger killer. The Japanese method sees weeds and asks, why was there open space? That question changes the whole job. Clover, dandelions, plantain, and crabgrass usually do not take over a dense lawn. They move into gaps. They show up where the lawn is thin, sculpted, compacted, dry, or weak. So if you only spray the weed, you remove the witness and leave the crime scene. The open soil is still there, the sunlight is still hitting it, the next weed seed is already waiting. After a good rain, when the ground is soft, pull the obvious weeds by the base and remove the root. But do not stop there, thicken the lawn in fall, raise the mower, leave the clippings, fix the compacted edge, cover the soil with grass so weeds have fewer places to begin. That is how the Japanese method turns weed control into lawn strength. Now comes the trap that sells the most bags, yellow grass. A homeowner sees a pale lawn and assumes it needs nitrogen. So he buys fertilizer, the lawn turns greener for a while, then fades. He buys another bag. Same story, another quick green, another crash. That is not lawn care, that is a treadmill. A yellow lawn is not always hungry for nitrogen. Sometimes the roots are too shallow. Sometimes the soil is packed too tight. Sometimes the pH is off. Sometimes the lawn needs iron or organic matter, not another push of fast top growth. So before buying another bag, do the $0 checks first. Is the lawn being cut too short? Is it being watered at night? Is it getting shallow water instead of deep water? Are the clippings being removed? Are the worst spots compacted? If those are wrong, fertilizer only hides the problem for a little while. And if those are corrected but the lawn still refuses to green up, get a basic soil test from the local extension office. That test can tell you what the lawn actually needs instead of making you guess with a spreader. This is the moment a homeowner stops being easy to sell to. He stops asking the store what to buy, he starts asking the yard what failed. Now let us put the Japanese method into a simple yearly rhythm. In spring, do not start with fertilizer, start with inspection, walk the lawn with a cup of coffee and look for stress zones. Driveway edges, gate paths, mailbox strips, patio corners, downspout areas, shade pockets under trees, those are the places that reveal the next problem before the whole lawn shows it. Loosen compaction with a garden fork, raise the mower, clear heavy debris, let the lawn wake up without forcing it. In summer, protect the lawn from stress, mow higher, water deeply at sunrise, only when the yard truly needs it. Leave clippings, stop watering at night, watch the concrete edges because they dry first. In early fall, build density, overseed the thin areas while the soil is still warm. That is the quiet move that makes next year's lawn look thicker before the first bag ever leaves the shelf. That is the whole shift. The Japanese method is not about neglecting the lawn. It is about doing fewer things that matter more. And here's the part that makes impatient homeowners quit too soon. If the lawn has been cut short, watered shallow, bagged clean, and fed synthetic products for years, it may not transform in one weekend. The first season is often about stopping the damage. The second season is where the lawn starts to fill in. By the third season, the yard can look like someone is paying for professional care, even though the weekly work has gone down. That is the difference between instant green and stable green. Instant green looks good until the product fades. Stable green keeps improving because the lawn is stronger underneath. But there is one more place where homeowners waste money year after year. Shade, the strip under the maple tree, the damp corner behind the shed, the north side of the garage, that little area where grass comes up thin, struggles for a month, then disappears again. That may not be a bad lawn, that may be the wrong plant in the wrong place. In Japanese gardens, deep shade is not treated like a failure. It is used. Moss, stepping stones, mulch, or a shade-tolerant ground cover can make that corner look intentional instead of constantly repaired. Sometimes the smartest lawn move is knowing where the lawn should stop. That one decision can save seed, water, time, and frustration. So the $0 Japanese method comes down to this. Raise the mower before the heat wins, water deeply at sunrise instead of sprinkling the surface. Leave the clippings instead of throwing away free soil food. Loosen compacted spots before reseeding, build density in early fall before weeds get another season. Test the soil when the lawn keeps sending the same warning sign. And stop forcing grass into places where grass is never going to win. That is how a green lawn stops depending on fertilizer, sprinklers, and Scots. Not because the lawn needs no care, because the care finally matches the cause, and once the lawn becomes thicker, cooler, and stronger underfoot, the yard changes. The driveway edge stops looking burned out, the gate path fills in, the weeds lose their openings, the weekend stops revolving around the next product run. But fixing the lawn only solves the ground. There is another reason many backyards still feel unusable even when the grass looks good. Mosquitoes gather where water sits, ticks wait along the edges, wasps build in quiet corners. Homeowners do not check until the nest is already active. So the lawn can be green, and the yard can still be a place your family avoids. The next video on the screen shows the Japanese method for taking back the backyard from mosquitoes, ticks, and wasps without reaching for a can of bug spray. If this helped you look at your lawn differently, hit like so more homeowners can see it. And subscribe for more simple, low-cost home fixes that actually solve the cause, not just the symptom.